Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to be back and so glad to be with you all this afternoon. Should be a great conversation, plenty to update you on. Oh, my goodness, a lot to talk about. I am so glad to be here. Many, many things have happened, all of them good mostly, but serious. We are in serious times, right? But plenty to talk about. So glad you're all here. Let's do it.
The American century. I say that the century on which we are entering can be and must be the century of the common man.
A radical redistribution of economic power.
I mean, we know that racism is just a byproduct of capitalism. Everything would be all right if everything was put back in the hands of the people.
We need a government that will make sure Americans are taken care of and organize the economy to serve the people, not the profits of a wealthy few.
We now have the techniques and the resources to get rid of poverty.
We got to start getting out there with the people.
Get out of the movement and get to the masses.
We need a government of action. Welcome, 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 everybody. So glad to be here with all of you. Yeah, we have a lot of things that we can chat about this afternoon. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. Again, the way we do things, for those of you who may not be familiar, is that I give my opening remarks, which is the opening bit, what it is that I want to talk about. And then from there, we do a roll call to find out who's watching, who's on the other side of the camera, names and locations. And it's always really exciting. We always have a really great bunch of people in the United States and around the world who watch these live streams. And then after that, I answer your questions for the remainder of the show. So we are on 3 platforms right now. We are on YouTube, we are on Rumble, and we are on Rockfin. So if you got something you want me to talk about in the second half of our show, by all means, send me a Rumble rant, a Rockfin tip, or a super chat, and I will do my best to give you an answer. Now, keep in mind, may not be the answer you're looking for, but I will do my best to comment or respond or engage with you in the best way that I can. That's why I'm here, to engage with all of you, have afternoon conversations, etc. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. Couple announcements before we get going here. Very, very important announcement. We are about a month away from our amazing, important conference that is happening in Portland, Oregon. The National Convention, the first National Convention of the Center for Political Innovation, will be happening in Portland, Oregon. It's going to be amazing. Guest speakers will be Jyoti Brar from the Communist Party of Great Britain, Marxist-Leninists, Scott Ritter, the military analyst, important voice, Garland Nixon, the important Sputnik radio host and expert on international affairs. We will have the music of David Rovics. And I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This poster is going to be pretty big when we get around to updating it. In addition to that, it looks like we are going to have Rainer Shea, the great commentator from California. He is going to be there as well. It looks like we are going to have Lee Stranahan, the radio host, Sputnik Radio, a critic of U.S. foreign policy. Lee Stranahan has agreed to come as well. In addition to that, it looks like we will have a very, very important pro-Palestine guest who's going to be speaking. Don't want to reveal too much about that. This conference is really coming together. It is really going to be something. It is going to be a fantastic event in Portland, Oregon. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. And we need all the help we can get right now to pull it off effectively. I know while I was in Russia, attending an important meeting that I'm going to tell you all about, our members, they were struggling to get everything lined up and reserve the spaces and make arrangements. And there's still a lot that needs to be done. So if you are going to come to our conference, please register so we know that you're coming. The room holds 250. We will fill up this room. It will be full. So register. Register for the conference. Please go ahead and register if you plan to be there. so that we know you're coming. It's a free event, so you don't have to pay at the door. But we do want to have you register so we know that you're going to be there. So that'll be important. Please register for the event. If you plan on attending, please register. That is the Eventbrite website. Please register. And on top of that, we are really urgently needing to raise funds for the event. So if you can help the event happen, it would be greatly appreciated if you could go to the Give, Send, Go, the official Give, Send, Go. You can give donations anonymously or publicly. You can give whatever amount you want, but please support the event on Give, Send, Go. Please help us make this event happen. It is not cheap to fly in all these guests and reserve all these spaces. So please support the event. And I'll have more to say about the event coming up. Please, we could really, really use your support. It's getting down to the wire, and I'm not sure how we're going to pay for everything. It's adding up, but it's going to be a very, very important conference. We need you there. We need you there. So please support the event. Please support the event. That would be amazing if you could support the event. We need your support as well. And we got our first super chat from John McCarthy, and he's asking about a Marianne Williamson video he'd like me to react to. So that'll be important, and I will. And keep the super chats rolling in, please, because the more super chats that roll in, the more things I have to answer. You all make the second half of this show special. You make it what it is. So now I am going to jump into my opening remarks for what it is that I wanted to talk about today. So you all know where I was recently. I was in Russia. I was in Russia for the International Council of the World Youth Festival. So what was that? What was the International Council of the World Youth Festival? Well, as you may be aware, I guess, how do we start? Okay. So right after World War II, wow. You always wonder, where do you begin? Where do you begin, right? So how do you start explaining? In order to explain what the World Youth Festival is, I have to explain what the World Festival of Youth and Students was. In order to do that, I have to explain what the World Democratic Youth Federation was. In order to do that, I have to explain World War II. Oh, my goodness. We could be on here all night. Long story short, folks, they have done everything they can do to erase from popular memory, especially in the United States, that America and Russia, the Soviet Union, and the People's Republic of China and Mao, and Britain, and the democratic popular movements of the world, we were all on the same side in World War II. And that was the anti-Nazi side. It was communists and socialists and progressive forces and Roosevelt and people who love democracy and freedom and are opposed to racial supremacism that defeated the Nazis in World War II. The Nazis were defeated in World War II, and the United States and Russia and China, we were all on the same side. After World War II, there was a strong desire on the part of the Soviet Union and its allies around the world to make sure that this unity of anti-imperialism and anti-fascism and democracy could remain, and that young people under the age of 35 were an important part of keeping that democratic internationalist spirit alive. So after World War II, the Soviet Union founded something called the World Democratic Youth Federation. And the World Democratic Youth Federation, it had a pledge that it had all the members take. And we use that pledge at the Center for Political Innovation. Every meeting that we have begins. People raise their right hands. If you're a member of the Center for Political Innovation, you know this all too well. We swear that we shall remember this unity forged at the end of the Second World War, not only today, not only this year, this week, but always. And we start every single meeting that we do this way. And in fact, just to remind you, I will show you the pledge. In case you have forgotten about the pledge, I will put the pledge on the screen. We use the World Democratic Youth Federation pledge at every CPI event because that is a really important part of what we are about. We view ourselves as the inheritors of the William Z. Foster Communist Party when the Communist Party was still an anti-imperialist organization, when it was still an organization that was aligned with the people of the world and advocating building an anti-monopoly coalition. The Communist Party of today is certainly not that, and it's taking a reprehensible stance now during the Russia-Ukraine conflict. It's a pro-NATO organization. But back at this time, when the William Z. Foster Communist Party existed, they were on the right side. We view ourselves as inheritors of that tradition. And we begin every meeting with the World Democratic Youth Federation pledge. And I'll put that on the screen here in a little bit. But the World Democratic Youth Federation was an attempt by the Soviet Union and its allies around the world to keep the unity and anti-fascism and progressivism and optimism of the defeat of fascism, to keep that alive for the next generation. And because of that, they gathered and they formed this group called the World Democratic Youth Federation. And every 4 years, the World Democratic Youth Federation would have a gathering called the World Festival of Youth and Students. And it was called the World Festival of Youth and Students that would happen every 4 years. And from all over the world, young people that were against imperialism, against fascism, in favor of democracy, would gather, and they would say the pledge, the World Democratic Youth Pledge, and they would meet with people around the world, and they would gather, and it was a really beautiful thing that they would do. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the I'm going to find the video to put on here of us, how we start every meeting with the pledge, right? Every meeting with the pledge. So here's that February 19th. This is Tyler McConnell in Missouri, our member who's a high school English teacher in Missouri. He's leading the Pledge of Unity, at our meeting, February 19th, after the Rage Against the War Machine protest in Washington, D.C. Tyler McConnell led us in the Pledge of Unity. Here it is.
I'm going to get it. There we go. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm your MC tonight, yo! All right, here we go. We're going to start, to get everybody to know we're getting started, we're going to start with Dare to Struggle! 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 That's right. I love it. All right. So, I'm going to ask you guys, we're going to do something that we start off every CPI event with. And it's a moment of respect. I'll tell you a little history where it comes from. It comes from the Soviet Union, but hear me out, libertarians. I think you'll like it. Stick around. It was written by the World Democratic Youth Federation, and it came out in 1947 as a way to bring the youth of the world together against war. So anytime we have a meeting, we recite the Pledge of Unity. We put up our right hand, and you don't need to know it because I'm going to say it, and you can repeat it, all right? And we've replaced youth with people, so here we go. The CPI Pledge of Unity. Hold up your right hand. Everybody stand up if you wouldn't mind. Get involved. Come on, do me a solid. All right. Are you ready? Solidarity for the working class. Here we go. We pledge that we shall remember this unity. Forged at the end of the Second World War. Not only today, not only this week. This year, but always. Until we have built the world we have dreamed of and fought for. We pledge ourselves to build the unity of the people of the world. All races, all colors, all nationalities, all beliefs. To eliminate all traces of fascism from the earth. To build a deep and sincere international friendship among the peoples of the world. To keep a just and lasting peace. To eliminate want, frustration, and enforced idleness. We have come to confirm the unity of all people. To salute our comrades who have died. And pledge our word that skillful hands, keen brains, and bold enthusiasm shall never more be wasted in war. Amen.
That is the World Democratic Youth Federation pledge. We had changed the word youth and replaced it with people so that it was inclusive of people of all ages. But we use that as a really big part of what the Center for Political Innovation is about. And so the World Democratic Youth Federation had these festivals every 4 years they would have around the world to unify the young people of the world, to stand against imperialism, to build bridges and connections. And it was a really big deal, and there's all kinds of crazy stories about these festivals. They had the festival in Pyongyang in North Korea, I believe in 1989 or pretty, and a whole bunch of young people from South Korea went to it and immediately got arrested and went to prison for going to it. And there's many examples of this. It was a really dynamic thing. And it continued. And after the fall of the Soviet Union, Cuba continued sponsoring festivals around the world. And in 2017, they had it in Sochi, Russia. And I attended the festival in 2013 in Quito, Ecuador, as well as the festival in 2017 in Sochi, Russia. It was a great experience. Well, Russia, it's a really, really important part of Russian history too, because young people from Russia would attend these festivals. And there were 2 festivals that were held in Russia. And both of them were very, very big events in the history of the country, that brought together the high achieving young people from all over the world. So it turns out that, they have already had one in Sochi in 2017. So now the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, has decided that he wants to keep the World Festival tradition alive. So he has launched, he's going to launch another World Youth Festival. Now, this isn't exactly the World Festival of Youth and Students. That's technically still done by the WFD or whatever. However, one second. But anyway, this is done by the World Federation of Democratic Youth. So now Russia has announced that in 2024, they are going to be having the World Youth Festival, separate from the World Festival of Youth and Students. They're going to have their own version called the World Youth Festival. Okay. It's going to be called the World Youth Festival. And it's going to be really, really important that they have it. And there's going to be delegations from many, many different countries. There will be 20,000 young people from Russia who will attend. It will be the highest scorers in mathematics, the highest scorers in science, the highest scorers, the highest performing athletes, the most skilled musicians. It's competitive in Russia to attend the World Youth Festival, and 20,000 young people will ultimately win out and get spots at the festival. And in addition to that, there will be 20,000 international guests from 120 different countries that will attend the festival. And among those attending the festival from around the world, there will be 15 participants from the United States of America. And those 15 participants are going to be led by me and the Center for Political Innovation. They'll be members of the Center for Political Innovation, members of the Party of Communists, and other organizations, the American Student Union, and others that will be represented. And I am the chair of the American delegation. And so because I am the chair of the American delegation, because of that, I was invited this weekend to attend the International Council of the World Youth Festival. So I'll be attending. It's going to be very exciting. And actually, this is a promotional video. The International Council happened this weekend. I was there. I spoke at it. I announced the U.S. delegation's participation. This is kind of a promotional video they made of it. Kind of a promotional video they made of it. So wanted to just show this video.
Уже молодые люди и девушки, которые приедут на фестиваль, они друг с другом познакомятся, будут друг другом очарованы. Кто-то подружится, кто-то влюбится. Затем они разъедутся по своим странам, поедут на свою родину, но, как мы надеемся, продолжат друг с другом общаться.
Съезд собрал 120 молодежных лидеров из более чем 90 стран, в том числе представителей национальных подготовительных комитетов из 70 иностранных государств.
Я очень надеюсь, что деятельность Международного совета, который сейчас сформировался, она ни в коем случае не должна остаться в этих 3 днях. Она абсолютно точно должна продолжиться.
Когда я приезжаю в эту часть света, я вижу искренний оптимизм, я вижу веру, что проблемы можно решить, предоставляя людям работу, а не бомбя людей. Я вижу во всех глазах мысль, что когда страны начинают объединяться, когда они занимаются торговлей, мы видим дорогу к миру.
We want more to go to every province, every state of Argentina, all of them. We are developing the regional coordinators that we are going to promote the festival.
Это типа фестиваль, конечно, это помогает отношения между Россией и другими странами, которые сейчас обязательно мы поговорим об новой порядке в мировой мир.
And that is the logo, by the way, that image that you just saw there, that is the logo of the World Youth Festival. And that is the logo. And it's going to be really, really great. It's going to be really, really great. So unfortunately, I just got a message. It looks like I need to cover the UN Security Council meeting that is happening. I am going to have to put this stream on hold. I'll be back probably this evening, maybe later this afternoon. I started this stream and then I just got a message. I just found out that I have to actually go and cover the UN Security Council meeting. So this is a much shorter stream than I intended. John McCarthy and Battle Cossack, I will answer your questions on Rockfin. But yeah, I just got the message. I didn't realize I was assigned to cover it until just now. But it looks like I'm going to be covering the UN Security Council meeting that is happening right now. It's about to start in like 1 minute. So I do apologize. It looks like suddenly I'm going to have to be back. I'm going to have to put this stream on hold. I've got plenty more to talk to you all about. So, sorry about this. This was abrupt. But yeah, I'll be back. So I've got plenty more to talk to you all about. And we'll resume this conversation later. So thank you very much. I'll be back later tonight. Plenty more to talk about. So there you go. Talk to you soon.